iBooks is an often forgot about app that allows students to store ebooks that they might be using for personal or for academic use. If we open up iBooks, we're automatically taken to our library, where we will see these are the books that we currently own or have purchased. The books with the clouds by them mean that we have at some point purchased them, but they are not currently on the iPad, so we would need to download those books. If I had a lot of books on my bookshelf, I'd be able to organize by titles, authors, and even categories. The neat thing about iBooks is it allows students to go to a store where they can search for books for topics that they may prefer. So we can look in the featured section of the books, which will give us a bunch of books that are featured by Apple. We can go to New York Times bestsellers list here, and we can view by fiction or nonfiction. You can see in the New York Times bestseller that most of those books are for purchase. But if we go by top charts, we can see the top free charts, and we can also see the top paid charts. So we can direct our students to this section for free books to purchase. And we can also view by top authors. So the top current selling authors right now, students can scroll through and they could see if they could find books maybe related to or similar to authors that they already like. And then finally we have our purchase section, which allows students to see the apps that they have already purchased at some point, either on their iPad, their iPhone, or their computer. Let's just go ahead and open up one of our books, and we'll open this digital citizenship book because it's already downloaded. When we open a book, it's very easy for a student to quickly scroll through a book and just simply go through the pages. The other benefit to using iBooks is students can create bookmarks. The bookmark allows them to either highlight an important section. So if they wanted to say, for example, a whole page or a whole chapter had to do with theme or characterization, they could add a bookmark so that they would know to come back to that. Students can also double tap and they can do a couple things. They can define a word, which is great for students when they're doing their choice books, that quick option to define a word. So if we click that, we'll pull up the dictionary definitions of averages. If we didn't like those definitions, we could certainly search the web. Additionally, if we go back to our highlighting, we can highlight a word or a passage, and students can simply just highlight the word. They can put some colors on there. They can also choose to leave a sticky note. So maybe this was an example of a keyword or something that they needed to know. And they would have an example of that sticky note off to the right of their page where they could always come back to it and they could view it later. Students can also go back to what is called study cards, and essentially this has all of the things that they made as notes in one section as a bunch of words to study. So here you see we just entered that word averages and we said it was a key word, so students would know that happened in Unit 2 and they could go back and they could review what that meant as need be. Go back to it. So they can also turn them into actual study cards where now here we have the word averages, and I could flip it over and I could say it's a keyword, something that I need to know, and flip it back again, and then I can scroll to the next one and I can continue going through study cards that I've created and see what the words mean. It's a great way for students to drive their own study skills and their own practicing. And we'll just say we're done with that. That will bring us back to the book. At any time, students can go back to their library, they can go back to the table of contents, or as we already mentioned, their study cards. Students also have a search feature within iBooks where they can search for a specific word. So let's go back to that word averages. And say I wanted to search for it in the book, it would show me the chapters or the locations where I could find that word. And I can say, oh yeah, here's where I wanted to know that, and it would jump immediately to that page in the book, which is another great tool for students. iBooks are great for students to search for their own choice novels. If students are working on Genius Hour or passion projects, it's a great tool for students to use to find free books or resources that will aid in their resource. If you need any help with iBooks, you can definitely be sure to contact your iLearn specialist, because another thing teachers can do is they can create their own iBooks using iBooks Author. If teachers create their own books using iBooks Author, you can see I have something here called a new book, and I actually created this in Book Creator. So students can upload their books they create in Book Creator, but teachers can create entire digital textbooks that can be put onto students' iPads using iBooks Author. So if you need any help with iBooks or iBooks Author, be sure to contact your Island specialist.